Hey, how are you? Sandra here again, and welcome to another episode of My Life and the Bible. So, today's episode is going to be a continuation of fear from last week. So, we'll call it Fear Part 2, right? And the reason why I'm doing a Fear Part 2 is because I did get some feedback from you guys, and it made me realize that although our fears are different, one thing is common: we're worrying about something. Something is making someone lose sleep at night. Whatever it is, let's figure out how we can move past it, right? Now, and not to dwell too much on it, but the different kinds of fears. There was fear of the unknown, fear of the future, fear of failure, fear of lack of accomplishment, fear of finances, the uncertainty of not having enough or not being able to provide for your family. um, and as mothers, you worry about your children, about their future, about what will happen. uh, People worry about their marriages. There are different things that people worry about. And I was talking to someone, and she mentioned something, and we talked about the fear of, some people have a fear of leaving a bad relationship. And the example that she gave was the fear of leaving an abusive marriage, an abusive relationship. And I thought to myself, wow. So that is a fear in itself, but there's also another fear there that could be the fear of abandonment, the fear of being by yourself. And there are so many different things that make people worry. There's so many things out there that make people lose their sleep. And just because our worries are different, our feelings are valid. Okay? So we're not here to discredit anyone's feelings. We're here to figure out how we can move past that which is causing us to lose sleep. Okay? And interestingly, the story that comes to mind is the story of Job. So, in the book of Job in the Bible, um, like you all know, Job was a very wealthy man, but a very God fearing man, and he lived an upright life in the eyes of God. And of course, the devil was doing his thing, roaming around the earth, trying to find who he will devour. And he went and asked the Lord if he could mess with Job. And the Lord gave him permission and told him, but do not touch him. Okay? So, what does the devil do? Literally devours everything around Job: his children, his wealth, literally everything around him. And I mean, he literally, he stripped him of everything. And every time we talk about the story of Job, it's like, it leaves me wondering, oh, is this a bit too much? Like, did he need to do all that? But okay. But the thing that caught my attention is in Job 3:25. And Job says, the thing that I feared the most has happened. So that tells me that even the most upright and most righteous person has something that they worry about. And we've had people we're in the internet era, so people are talking about manifesting this, manifesting abundance, manifesting wealth, and it happens, and all of this. But my take from that statement is that you're manifesting, and when you manifest, you're magnifying something. So the more you focus on that thing, for it to manifest, it has to be magnified, right? So whether it is a positive or a negative, as long as you focus on it, you magnify it. And in this case, we're talking about fear. Whatever it is we're worrying about, whatever it is you look at and your stomach just starts to churn, whatever it is that keeps you awake at night, you're focusing on it. And for as long as you focus, it is going to get magnified. It continues to grow. So I want us to think through this and be very intentional about how we want to deal with these things. I want you to sit down with a piece of paper and get your pen, piece of paper, sit down in a nice, comfortable spot. Make sure you're by yourself, no distractions. Sit down and write the things that make you lose sleep. The things that live rent-free in your head. The things that every time you open your mouth to pray to God, you catch yourself praying about those things. And I'm not saying you shouldn't pray, but if you're conscious enough, you will realize that there is something that is a worry. So yes, you're taking it to God as you should, but write down all those things that make you worry, and let's see what we can do with those things, right? So, like I said, positives or negatives, if we focus on it, it's going to magnify. And if it is a fear, it is going to magnify to the point that it alters your life. Now, another Bible verse that I found very intriguing in relation to what we're talking about is Proverbs 23:7. And it says that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So if my constant state of mind is that I don't have money and I am broke, chances are that is what it is. If my constant state of mind is about my children not being able to thrive, chances are it will happen. Now, follow with me, okay? I'm not saying that this is what we are hoping for and this is what will truly happen, but there is a chance that it will happen. Because you see, just like Job said, the thing he feared the most happened. And I don't know, of course we don't know what the dynamics are in the Bible, right? We read the story and we follow through. But to me, it feels like sometimes the things I have in my life that I have worried so much about have played out sometimes, and I'm thinking, did I manifest this because I worried too hard about it? Or did I not channel my thoughts right? Because it could be that I didn't channel my thoughts right. And like I said, Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So my inner thoughts and beliefs will shape my reality. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So the things that we worry about, for as long as they have a constant state of residency in my mind, I am manifesting them in my life. So basically, the thing I just said earlier about manifesting things, this is the Bible verse for it. So if I am thinking positive things, it means that is what I will manifest. If the thoughts in my heart are positive, if my thoughts are that my marriage is good, it is thriving, if my thoughts are that my future is bright, if my thoughts are that my children will excel, if my thoughts are that I will do well, if my thoughts are that my finances are good, that is what I am calling into existence. And because I call it into existence, my mind is going to want to trigger what I need to do to achieve that, as opposed to the opposite. And also sometimes I know that out of fear, sometimes we do certain things, but because you're doing it out of fear, sometimes, like I told you in the previous video, sometimes you're irrational when you have a fear. So sometimes your steps towards achieving something is based off of fear. So you might not even make the right decision. But here is the other thing. How do we make those positive moves? So we move out of our minds the negativity and we replace it with the positive. And how do we do that and solidify it in our minds? Exodus 33:14 says, the Lord says, His presence will go ahead of us and He will give us rest. So the Lord is literally telling us that my presence will go ahead of you and I will give you rest. So whatever it is that you're fearing is in the future. It's not here, it's not now. So God is going ahead. God is going ahead of you. He's going ahead of that situation that is making you lose your sleep, and He will give you rest. And I want us to believe it because, like I say, the Bible is here for us for a reason. It is here for us as a roadmap in the life that we're living right now. I want us to stand on this word and actually believe it. The Lord is saying, I'm going ahead of you and I'll give you rest. Why am I worrying about children that the Lord has given me? Lord, you gave them to me. Why am I seated here worrying about their future? And yet you who gave them to me, you have told me that they are for signs and for wonders. You and the children I have given you are for signs and for wonders. Meaning He has foreseen the future. So call it into existence, because remember, like we said, as a man thinks, so is he. So why should I worry about their failure, about their lack of ability to do stuff? Why don't we think positively about life in general, about anything? So think about that thing in your life. Think about it and think about what you want it to look like. Because like I said, when you write down your fears, I want you to write the fears and then write down what the opposite would be. So if you want to see the positive of that fear, write it down. If you're worried that your finances are not secure, how do you want to see your finances? And how will you make the positive steps? And after you have established the fear and what you want it to look like, which is the positive, then look at what you have to do to achieve that positive. And while you're trying to get to that positive, remember that the Lord is telling you that He's going ahead of you. His presence is going ahead of you, and have rest. So I want us to find rest. Today's video is another encouragement. I want us to find rest in God, because He is taking care of everything that's ahead of us. Every single thing that's ahead of us. Because listen, even when we go to sleep at night, He closes our eyes and opens them in the morning. Think about that. No, seriously, think about it. Like, by myself, I don't have the ability to go to sleep by myself or the ability to wake up. It is God that is allowing it to happen. So He's going ahead of us and He's saying that He will be there. Let us trust God. Let us take Him at His word. I don't know where this finds you, but I hope it encourages you, and send it to someone and encourage them. Thank you all for the likes, for the shares, for the subscription. Continue to like, continue to share, continue to subscribe. I love you all. God bless you, and until next time.